the new reality here from the studio. Broadcasting, this is it. I don't always want to be right, but sometimes I'm right. I said that music in America would be, sooner rather than later, just a large bulbous ass that would shake. Then Lizzo went and famously performed in front of a large shaking ass. This is true. I made a lot of other predictions that were right. I can't think of what they are now, but there was a few of them. There was actually a few of them. There was one that was recent. It was after the Lizzo one where I predicted it and people were like, fuck. It's exactly what you said.
Oh, you said eventually the biggest stand-up is going to be someone dancing around on TikTok with just like jingles and jangles, like he's not even saying anything.
Yes.
And that's the biggest stand-up video on TikTok.
Right.
Right?
Well, that was one of them. I said a lot of things. I have a great track record. Okay? And I said last week, I believe, that the only economic activities left will be what I'm doing right now and the double penetration scene from Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
Those are the two options you have to earn money right now. Or Postmates. No matter what happens, forever there will be Postmates. Thank God. Someone with a mask will hand you a Pokeball through a door or a slot, and they will scurry away into the darkness. Mm-hmm. Forever and ever, no matter if the Yellowstone supervolcano goes off and ash blocks out the sun, there will be creatures that adapt in that environment to glow and deliver Postmates. It's just the one constant we have in America, hopefully. Mm-hmm. We don't know what's going on. This is something that's very interesting. I watched everybody become a conspiracy theorist over the last 2 years, maybe even more than that. I watched it happen on the right. I watched it happen on the left. I watched normies, people that had never given the Kennedy assassination a second thought, that had never read books like The Franklin Scandal. I watched them go hard into conspiracies. I watched people on the left go hard into intrigue, espionage, trying to figure out the Russiagate issue. I've watched it, and I've watched it be done recklessly, sloppily, as you would imagine people do when their minds melt. It's what happens after you spend an entire lifetime in the mainstream and you're just, eating tomato soup with grilled cheese, and you're just out there trying to go to college or get your kids into college. Where's a fun spot for a vacation? What kind of dog is good with the kids? We have a decent-sized yard. It's nothing crazy. He'll have some space, but, how much activity? Like, you go from that to Epstein overnight. Your mind melts. It's true. You go from that to waking up that your leaders are no good. Worse than you thought. Bad in ways you can barely comprehend. Unimaginable. Overnight, that happens. How can I get mad at you? How can I get mad at these QAnon people, even though many of them are, I believe, to be functionally retarded? And I mean, unfortunate people. How can I get that mad at them when they're forced to adapt to this new world where the conclusions you come to are so blackpilling, so empty, that you are forced to concoct stories in your head about what is really happening? And just like I watched that, I watched people last week become preppers. I've watched people become end timers over the last week and a half. People that had nothing but positive things to say are now changing their tune. And I kid around and say that we've been preparing for this type of thing for a long time, but I mean, look. This is the set. We are the broadcasters at the end of the world. I am the anchor man at the end of the world. It's not Ted Koppel. It's me. It's not the guy who went on NBC, could barely make sense anymore. Tom Brokaw, he went on NBC, could barely speak. No, it's me. I'm the anchor man at the end of the world, and it doesn't make me happy. It doesn't please me, but it doesn't shock me either. I'm not surprised by it. I'm not surprised that a corrupt oligarchy of clowns didn't anticipate and or bungled the response to a pandemic. This is what happens when you erect a society run by sociopaths who don't care. They, as Kurt Vonnegut said, they get to where they go. They get to the places, they ascend to those positions of power because they don't care what happens next. They just go, do it, do that, do this, do that, do that. They don't contemplate. They don't sit back. They're not thoughtful, contemplative people. They're doers, not thinkers. So when you're a doer, it all works until it doesn't. Trump is great in boom times. He's, an 80s political cartoon. Money's being made. Things are good. Now, it's a little bleak. He doesn't look great. He looks like he might have a touch of corona. We are recording this Friday. Everything's changing so much by the hour
Yeah.
that I want to let you know we're recording this Friday. Because I don't know. I heard New York City was going to be in quarantine by now. It still may happen. We all got that text from somebody. Everybody's got a friend that's highly placed in the government, by the way, during the pandemic. Nobody can get you a fucking parking pass. Nobody can help you at all when it's not a pandemic. Not one human being can do anything for you. They can't get you a reservation at a restaurant. They can't help you at all. But at the end of the world, everybody's got a highly placed source in the government that's delivering terrible news, and they want you to hear it first. And I heard that they were going to quarantine New York City. Seems like it's an eventuality that certain areas are going to get quarantined. Then, BuzzFeed had that thing quoting the NYPD saying that's all fake. It's not going to happen. There's no plans, which is great how they get out of it. They're like, there's no plans at this time. At this time is a great way to say anything, at this time. No plans to shut down roads, which is what a quarantine would be, shutting down the in or out. Whether they get people to stay in their house or they, after the Boston Marathon bombing, they shut down Boston and told people to stay in their homes, okay, until they caught the terrorists. We're not going to go into that, but that's, Now, we're thinking about, Drudge Report today. Headline, nationwide shutdown being talked about. What does that mean? What does that look like? How do you shut down a country of 350 million people? How do you keep all of those people in their homes? There's a lot of people and a lot of guns. I'm not even saying it might not be necessary. On some level, you have to stop the transmission of this thing. You have to curb the transmission, unless we're all going to be fucked. If you look at Italy, you look at these other countries, we're following the same path they are. Our healthcare infrastructure, by the way, not that much better than Italy. I know that, but we're America. No, we have more people, and many of our systems are as unprepared or maybe even more unprepared than there are in other parts of the world. So I wouldn't take any false confidence, in the idea that we are a first world country. Well, we are in some respects, in a lot of respects, but, we're going to put that to the test. Also, it's also like you have the conspiracy people going, they don't believe in the virus. That doesn't seem helpful. But it is interesting. I do understand because their minds have been melted over the past couple of years, and you're dealing with candle wax minds, broken brains. I do understand because the government's like, well, we can't test you. If you feel symptoms, don't go to the hospital. Don't get tested. You start going, is this happening? Is this real? Are we going to go to fucking the hospital and see a bunch of nurses playing cards? What's the deal? What do you mean don't get tested if you have symptoms? What's that mean? We don't have any fucking tests? That's not good. It's a problem.